Jama. In this video, we are going to discuss the story of the 10 Mahāvidyā. So, before the cosmic storm, the place of Daksha burst with excitement of an immense yajna, a gathering of gods, sages, kings, celestial musicians, and the beings of higher realms. Banners fluttered, fire raised in sacred altars. But one invitation was deliberately missed: Shiva and Shakti. When the news reached Kailash, Sati's heart cracked with pain. She loved her father, yet he despised her husband. She begged Shiva, her voice trembling, not with anger, but with sorrow. How can I ignore a ceremony in my own father's house? Shiva, knowing Daksha's venomous pride, gently refused. They will insult you. They will insult me. Nothing good will come. But this time Sati was not obedient wife, hurt, rejected, and burning with fire of 1,000 unspoken humiliations. Something ancient awoke inside her. Her breath grew heavy, her eyes fierce. Shiva stepped back slightly, recognizing the rising surge of Adi-Shakti. In that moment, she summoned powers that had slept for eons. The air cracked, the ground trembled, and suddenly Shiva found himself surrounded by 10 forms of goddesses, each blocking a direction of escape. First, Kālī, Sati rage, takes form south. As Shiva moved south, Sati's chest heaved once like a volcano, releasing ages of suppressed hurt. From her shadow exploded Kālī. Black as creation's first night, she rushed forth with wild hair, her scream shaking Kailash. The mountains quivered, the sky dimmed. Shiva tried to step past her, but Kālī stretched like a living storm, eyes burning red, arms beating the air, tongue dripping with power. Her feet crushed time, her presence froze the illusion. Shiva, the eternal ascetic, felt the first time the force so raw it bent the laws of existence. Sati's unspoken pain had taken shape, her wounded dignity turning into fury capable of consuming universe. Kālī stood before him like a verdict. I am the fire you ignored. Second, Tārā. The blue mother blocks the west. Shiva turned west, hoping the fury had spent itself. But the roaring night faded, replaced by a cool, deep blue radiance, quiet yet immense. Out of this light stepped Tārā, the savior goddess. Her voice was not a scream, but a deep that silenced storms. She held the skull cup of transcendence and the scissors that cut the fear. Her presence was maternal, protective, yet fierce enough to hold Shiva's gaze without flinching. When she appeared, even the poison of the cosmos once bowed before her milk. Shiva remembered how she once revived him, cradling him like a child. This form of Sati worshipped a truth older than the oceans. When all abandon you, I am the one who carries you across. Her calm, irresistible force sealed the western path completely. Third, Tripura Sundarī. Dawn itself blocked the east. Seeking escape, Shiva turned toward east. But horizon suddenly glowed with a beauty so overwhelming it pierced the heart. A golden pink radiance bloomed, and from it emerged Tripura Sundarī, 16 years forever. Her smile softer than moonlight. She carried a sugarcane bough of flower arrows, each holding the fragrance of creation. Her appearance brought such bliss that even gods might forget their duties. Shiva stood, still not because he wished to, but because absolute beauty dissolves the impulse to move. Her voice was a whisper of cosmic harmony, behind rage and rescue, behind storm and sorrow. I am the bliss that sustains all existence. The east closed like a lotus under her gentle radiance. Fourth, Bhuvaneśwarī, space itself surrounded him, upward. Shiva tried to ascend, but the sky split open like the expanding universe before the first star. Bhuvaneśwarī emerged not as a figure alone, but as the vastness itself. The air stressed, the heavens expanded. Shiva found himself standing inside her infinite womb, the Garbhagriha. Her face shimmered like dawn, her presence calm and boundless. She did not block him, she simply was everywhere. Sati, fourth revelation, showed Shiva that Shakti is the space in which he meditates, the space in which creation appears, the space even his consciousness floats in. The booming silence filled the skies as she said without words, "Where will you go where I am not? Because I am everywhere." Fifth, Bhairavī, the flame of tapas blocks the southeast. Determined, Shiva stepped toward southeast direction of fire. Instantly, the world burst into scorching brilliance. Flame rose from the stones. The sky glowed red. From within that furnace walked Bhairavī, radiating disciplined fire. Her eyes blazed with the heat of thousand suns. Her every step cracking the earth. She was not rage like Kālī. She was precision, the focused fire of transformation. Shiva recognized in her ancient force that fuels all spiritual awakening, the heat that burns ignorance and polishes wisdom. Bhairavī slammed her trident before him, the ground splitting into molten cracks. "You cannot bypass the fire that makes God from mortals," her pressure declared. Sixth, Chinnamastā, lightning cuts the northwest. Shiva now moved toward northwest. Lightning tore open in the sky, a blinding flash, a thunderclap that shook his bones. Out of the electric blaze stepped Chinnamastā, standing on a couple in union, holding her own severed head in her hands. Three streams of blood shot upward, one into her own mouth, two feeding her attendants. Shiva froze, not out of fear, but out of awe. This was Shakti beyond comprehension, the power of ego death, instant realization, thunderbolt awakening. Her head strode through severed lips. Awakening is not gentle, it is the storm that cuts through illusion in a single stroke. Her body remained alive, radiant, unshaken, showing Shiva that Shakti is unkillable, unstoppable, beyond form. The northwest closed with a violent flash. Seventh, Dhūmāvatī, smoke devours the southwest. Shiva now moved towards southwest, but he stepped. Sound died. Light dimmed. A suffocating smoke consumed everything. Out of this heavy void emerged Dhūmāvatī, old, wrinkled, lonely, riding a creaking horseless chariot. Her eyes were hollow, filled with ancient hunger. Shiva remembered the myth how she once swallowed him out of cosmic hunger and he escaped as smoke. This was Sati form of emptiness, widowhood, loss, endings, decay. Dhūmāvatī whispered like ashes blown by dying wind. All things collapse, all beauty fades, all attachment end. And in that ending, truth is born. Southwest was swallowed by her smoke. Eighth, Bagalāmukhī, the golden silence of stopping north. Shiva turned north, praying for clarity. He did not expect what came next. Everything, wind, sound, time, froze. A golden stillness descended, thick and serene. From it emerged Bagalāmukhī, glowing like a molten gold, pressuring the tongue of a demon, pressing the tongue of a demon with one hand while holding the club in the other. The demon was frozen, speechless, powerless. Shiva understood instantly this was the Shakti that paralyzes negativity, that silenced destructive thoughts before they become action. That silences destructive thoughts before it became action. Her eyes locked on the Shiva, and the world held its breath. Not all battles are won by force, some are won by stopping movement itself. Yeah, the northern path shut under the golden silence. Mātaṅgī. Truth from the shadows blocks the downward path. The downward direction opened like a dark forest. Shadows danced, drums echoed. From earth rose Mātaṅgī, green skinned, wild haired, playing a veena whose notes shook the subconscious. She was the goddess of outcasts, the queen of forbidden wisdom, the voice from society edges. She walked like a forest queen, her eyes glowing with truth hidden from polite civilization. She spoke in songs older than scriptures. Truth is not always pure, sometimes it grows in shadows, in discarded places, in the wild. With her arrival, even under realms bowed, there was nowhere left to descend. 10th, Kamala, the lotus of completion, northeast. Only the northeast remained the purest direction. Soft waves appeared, shimmering with gold light. A lotus bloomed slowly, majestically. Upon it, Kamala glowing like sunrise. Elephants pouring streams of pure water around her. She smiled not fiercely, not wildly, but with serene completeness. She radiated abundance, harmony, and the sweetness of life after transformation. Shiva felt his breath return, his chest soften. She spoke softly. When the ego burns, when the mind clears, when truth awakens, the soul blooms. When the ego burns, when the mind clears, when the truth awakens, the soul blooms. Kamala was the first revelation, the lotus that grows after the mud, the prosperity that follows purification, the grace that appears only after every illusion has died. The circle closes now. Shiva understands. Surrounded by 10 cosmic forces, Shiva finally understood that Sati was not merely his consort, she was the universe. Each Mahavidya was a facet of her infinite being. Her rage, compassion, bliss, space, fire, lightning, emptiness, silence, wildness, and abundance were not separate forms, they were her. In that moment, Shiva bowed, not in surrender, but in recognition. Sati had revealed the full spectrum of Shakti. Shiva had nowhere left to run because he realized he had never wanted to. He was simply witnessing the infinite woman he loved in all her divine truth. Gemma. There was another quote that I would like to repeat. When all abandon you, I am the one who carries you across. I am the fire you ignored. Behind rage and rescue, behind storm and sorrow, I am the bliss that sustains all existence. Where will you go where I am not? You cannot bypass the fire that makes gods from mortals. Awakening is not gentle, it is a storm that cuts through illusion in a single stroke. All things collapse, all beauty fades, all attachments end. and in that ending, truth is born. Not all battles are won by force, some are won by stopping movement itself. Truth is not always pure, sometimes it grows in shadows and discarded places in the wild. When the ego burns, when the mind clears, when truth awakens, the soul blooms. Jama. With this, we have completed our Das Mahavidya. Thank you for watching.